She said it was just for closure. It's strange how easily you can believe in someone, how naturally trust builds up when you're not looking for it, like bricks stacking themselves into walls you didn't realize you were trapped behind. That was what it felt like with Mia. We met during our second year of university. She was bold where I was quiet, confident where I was reserved. I think part of me fell for her the moment she leaned across the table at that stupid pub quiz and whispered the wrong answer to me just to mess up our score. "Don't take life so seriously," she had said with a wink, then stole a fry from my plate like we'd known each other for years. And somehow, just like that, she was in my life. The first year with her was magic. That's the only way to put it. Movie nights turned into sleepovers. Her toothbrush appeared next to mine. She introduced me to her parents. I brought her to Christmas at my grand's. Everyone said we were good together, perfect, even. And I believed it. God, I believed it so completely. But things change. Or maybe people just get better at hiding who they really are. It started with her being distant. Not cold, not hostile, just not present. She'd zone out during conversations. Her phone was suddenly always face down. And there was this guy, Liam. She said he was just a friend from her creative writing group. "He's annoying," she'd laugh. "Keeps trying to turn our real lives into his terrible poetry." I didn't like how often his name came up, or how quick she was to dismiss him. Still, I wanted to trust her. I chose to trust her. Then came the night that broke me. It was supposed to be a normal Thursday. I was walking back from the gym, hoodie clinging to me from the rain, when I passed a cafe near campus and saw her. She hadn't noticed me. She was sitting by the window, laughing, really laughing, that full-body kind of laugh she rarely gave anymore. And across from her, leaning forward like he was the only man in the world, was Liam. I don't know how long I stood there. Long enough for my heart to split in quiet, disbelieving silence. When I confronted her later that night, she didn't deny it. She didn't even flinch. "It's not what you think," she said softly, too softly. "We were just talking. It was closure." "Closure for what?" I asked, voice cracking. Was there something open that I didn't know about? Her face folded in guilt. She looked down. "We had a thing once. Before you. Just a few months. I never told you because it didn't matter. But seeing him again. I needed to talk to him. To end things properly." My fists clenched at my sides. "End what properly, Mia? You've been with me for almost 2 years." She came closer then, reached for my hand like that would fix the fracture in the air. "I swear, I just needed to see him one last time. That's all it was. I needed to make sure I didn't have any leftover feelings. So I could be fully here with you." I didn't say anything. I didn't know how. My brain was shouting things I couldn't put into words. "I didn't kiss him," she whispered. "I didn't cheat. It was just a conversation." I believed her. Because I wanted to. Because the alternative would have destroyed me. But things didn't go back to normal. They got worse. It was the little things that gave her away. The way she checked her phone when she thought I wasn't looking. How her smile dimmed just slightly when we were alone, like she was waiting for someone else to arrive. The late-night messages she'd brush off as group chats. The growing gaps in her attention, like parts of her had already drifted somewhere I couldn't follow. I started waking up in the middle of the night just to see if she was still in bed with me. Sometimes she wasn't. Sometimes she said she'd gone to get water, or to check her emails, or that she couldn't sleep. I didn't want to be that guy. The one who snoops through phones, who follows his girlfriend around, looking for proof of something he already suspects. But suspicion eats you from the inside out. It makes your own thoughts your enemy. One night, I caved. While she was in the shower, I unlocked her phone. I knew her passcode. She'd never changed it. That fact made me hesitate. Maybe that meant she wasn't hiding anything. Maybe it was all in my head. But I opened her messages anyway. Liam's name was pinned. My stomach dropped. The chat was mostly deleted. A few memes. Some LOLs. And then one message from her, dated a week ago. "I still don't know how I'm supposed to feel when I see you." That was all. That was enough. When she came out of the bathroom, I couldn't even look at her. I felt sick, physically nauseous. But I said nothing. I was too scared of what would come if I did. Too scared of her answers. Instead, I tried harder. Took her out more. Made breakfast for her before classes. Picked her up from work when it rained. Bought her that necklace she once pointed at months ago. Told her I loved her more often, hoping it would remind her. She smiled. She said thank you. She kissed me, but her eyes didn't. And then came the weekend trip. She told me she was going to visit her sister in Brighton. "Girls' weekend," she said, tossing her overnight bag onto the couch like it was no big deal. I helped her pack. I even drove her to the train station, kissed her goodbye with a lump in my throat I couldn't explain. That night, I barely slept. Something in me screamed. So I texted her, "Hope you're having fun, smiley face." She didn't reply for 6 hours. When she finally did, it was a blurry photo of a wine glass and a caption. "The girls say hi," but the reflection in the glass wasn't hers. It was his. I zoomed in on the photo, my heart pounding in my chest. The face was barely visible in the reflection, but it was enough. The jawline, the outline of his hoodie. I'd seen that hoodie before in a photo from years ago, one she kept buried in her old Instagram highlights, a memory she forgot to delete. "Liam." I stared at the screen until my eyes burned. I didn't reply. She didn't follow up. The next day she came back, cheerful, a little too cheerful. Her skin was glowing, hair slightly messy in a way that didn't seem like she'd spent the weekend lounging around with her sister. She hugged me, warm and full of energy, like she missed me. "Trip was great," she said, curling into me like nothing had changed. "We really needed it." We, my sister and me. I didn't say anything. She didn't know I'd seen the picture. She didn't know I recognized him. Or maybe she thought I wouldn't notice. Or worse, maybe she knew and didn't care. I tried to act normal, but something inside me had cracked. I started watching her in a way I hadn't before. I listened to every word for hidden meanings. I watched her when she wasn't looking. And when she was on her phone, I paid attention to how fast she locked the screen. A week later, I asked her if we could talk. "Of course," she said, smiling like everything was fine. "I want to ask you something," I began, struggling to keep my voice level. "When you went to Brighton, was it really just your sister?" There was a pause. It was barely half a second, but it was enough. She blinked, slow. "Yeah, of course." I stared at her. "You're sure? Why wouldn't I be?" I swallowed. "Because I saw the photo. The wine glass. The reflection." Her expression didn't change. Not at first. Then something cold settled over her face. Like the mask she wore cracked, just slightly. She sat down slowly. "So you went through my stuff?" "I didn't have to. You sent it to me." She went quiet. I expected tears. Or a scream. Maybe even an apology. Something real. But she just stared at me, then said calmly, "Okay. So what if he was there?" My heart sank. "You told me it was your sister." It was. And him. It wasn't planned. He was just there. We bumped into each other. "You bumped into your ex in Brighton and ended up drinking wine with him?" She shrugged. "It just happened. And you didn't think that was worth telling me?" She leaned back. "You would have overreacted." I felt dizzy. Did anything happen? Her silence answered before her words did. It was just closure. I laughed. It came out broken. "Closure." "Yeah," she said. "We talked. We cleared the air. That's it." I looked at her. And for the first time, I realized I didn't recognize the person sitting in front of me. "I can't believe you," I whispered. She rolled her eyes. "I knew you'd be like this." "Be like what, Maya? Mad that you lied to me? That you went to meet your ex and didn't think I deserved to know?" Her voice went cold. "I didn't go to meet him. He was there. It wasn't planned. And yet you had wine, took photos, spent time with him. Why are you making it sound like I cheated?" I felt my chest tighten. "Because that's what it feels like." She scoffed. "You're being dramatic." I stared at her, stunned. "Do you even realize what you did?" "I didn't do anything," she snapped. "We talked. That's it. You lied." I omitted. "There's a difference." I stood up. I couldn't sit still. I was afraid if I did, I'd scream. She followed me with her eyes, calm. Too calm. "Why are you so insecure?" That hit me like a punch. She knew that was my weak spot. She knew what I'd told her, how I'd been cheated on before, how I struggled to trust. And she used it against me. "You think this is about me being insecure?" I asked, laughing bitterly. She crossed her arms. "I think you're twisting something small into something it's not." I walked to the window, trying to breathe. My hands trembled. I looked down at the street, then at her reflection behind me in the glass. She didn't look guilty. She looked annoyed. That hurt more than anything. "I need space," I said. "What?" "I need time to think." She stood up. "You're not serious." "I am." "You're just going to walk away over this?" "I don't trust you anymore." She stared at me, stunned. Her mouth opened like she wanted to argue, then closed again. She grabbed her bag, muttering, "Fine, if that's what you want." She walked out. I didn't stop her. I didn't sleep that night. Her last words haunted me. "If that's what you want." Like I had done something wrong. I scrolled back through old photos of us, trying to find the moment when everything started to unravel. It used to be good. I wasn't imagining that. We laughed. We had plans. We were a team. But slowly, without me noticing, she had started pulling away, canceling plans, being vague, holding her phone closer when I was near, telling me less and less about her day. And now I realized it wasn't sudden. It was a slow fade. Maybe Liam was just the symptom. Maybe the decision had already been made, and I just hadn't seen it. The next day she texted me, "I miss you. I'm sorry you feel hurt, but I didn't do anything wrong." That message hit like a wave of fury. She didn't say, "I'm sorry for what I did." She said, "I'm sorry you feel that way." Classic deflection. Zero accountability. I didn't reply. 2 days later she called. I didn't pick up. On the third day, she showed up at my place. She stood at my door looking worn out. No makeup, red eyes. But when I opened the door, her first words weren't, "I'm sorry." She said, "Are you done being mad?" I didn't even know how to respond. That was what she opened with? I stepped back and pointed into the apartment. "If you want to talk, talk. But don't walk in here acting like I'm the one who messed up." She walked past me, sat down on the couch, arms crossed. I don't get why this is such a big deal. I sat across from her. "Then you haven't been listening." "I have been listening. You think I'm hiding something, but I'm not." "Then tell me exactly what happened." She looked away. We had wine, talked for maybe an hour. He apologized for the past. I told him I'd moved on. Then I left. I stared at her. "Did he touch you?" He hugged me goodbye. "Did you enjoy it?" She fell silent. "It was a hug." "Answer the question." She looked away. "I don't know what you want from me." "I want honesty." "I am being honest," she snapped. I didn't sleep with him. I didn't even flirt. But she wouldn't meet my eyes. Her voice was too defensive. So I asked, "Why did you take a picture of the wine glasses?" She froze. "What?" "You posted it. I saw it. Why would you do that if you didn't want someone to see it?" She hesitated. "I didn't mean to post that." "Liar." "Excuse me." Her voice rose. "You wanted someone to know. Maybe not me. Maybe him. Maybe your friends. I don't know. But that wasn't an accident." She stood up abruptly. "I'm not going to stand here and be accused of things I didn't do. Then sit and explain them." She gave me a look that was a mix of anger and guilt. "I miss how we used to be," she whispered. "Back when you trusted me. Back when you earned it," I said. She left again, this time without even saying goodbye. I sat on the couch, staring at the floor, and I suddenly realized I didn't recognize her anymore. The girl who used to support me, who called me late at night, who held my hand when things got tough, she was gone. Someone else had taken her place. Someone who chose manipulation over honesty. Someone who thought I should just stop being so sensitive instead of asking why I felt the way I did. And the scariest part wasn't that she met up with her ex. The scariest part was that she no longer saw anything wrong with it. A week passed. No texts. No calls. Just silence. I didn't block her. I didn't chase her either. I was broken, but a part of me was still hoping maybe she'd come back and finally tell the truth. But instead, I found out from someone else. My buddy Jordan sent me a screenshot. It was from her friend's private Instagram story. A group selfie. Laughter. Glasses raised. And there, right in the corner, blurry but unmistakable, him. Her ex. With his arm casually behind her on the couch. The caption? "Reunion nights be like winking face with tongue wine glass sparkles." My chest caved in. She wasn't just getting closure. She was spending time with him. Voluntarily. Repeatedly. Lying to my face and pretending like I was the one who needed to calm down. I messaged her. Me. So that hug goodbye turned into drinks and hanging out again? She didn't reply for 6 hours. Then finally. Her. That wasn't planned. I bumped into him again. We just talked. Me. So now you just talk with him regularly? Her. It's not like that. I don't owe you a report every time I see someone. That single sentence snapped something in me. I wrote back. You're right. You don't owe me anything anymore. We're done. The next day, she was outside my building again. Tears this time. Desperation. Please don't do this. Please don't let one mistake end us. One mistake. I asked. Which one? Lying to me? Hiding things? Or hanging out with someone you swore you had no feelings for? I didn't plan it, she said, voice cracking. You protected him more than you protected us. That silenced her. And I finally saw it for what it was. She never chose me. Not fully. I was always the safe option, the one she kept around, the one she leaned on, until someone more exciting popped back in. When she left that time, she didn't beg again. She just turned and walked away. And weirdly, I didn't feel pain. I felt peace. Because I finally accepted that closure wasn't something she could give me. It was something I had to give myself. By walking away from someone who had already emotionally walked out long ago, I started sleeping again. Not great, but better. I could look at my phone without that anxious pit forming in my stomach. No more waiting for messages that would never come, or reading between lines that were never honest to begin with. I went cold turkey, deleted all our photos, muted her on every platform. I wasn't ready to block her, but I didn't need the constant reminder. And yet, the world had its own way of twisting the knife. A month later, I saw them. At a local market, of all places. She was holding his hand, laughing, wearing the same scarf I gave her last Christmas. I froze. She saw me. She didn't let go of his hand. Her smile faded, but she didn't approach. Neither did I. I just stood there, long enough to memorize the scene like a wound. Long enough to see that she had moved on, not recently, but a while ago. I was never the destination. I was the layover. Later that night, she messaged me for the first time in weeks. Her, I didn't expect to see you today. Me, neither did I. Didn't expect to see him either. Her, I didn't mean to hurt you. I just realized things I hadn't before. I left her on read, because there was nothing left to say. I had already heard her truth. She just hadn't said it out loud until now. And it was this. He was never just a friend. He was always a backup plan. And I was the fool who didn't see it. You know the worst part? I don't hate her. I wish I did. It would be so much easier if I could just tuck all of this under the label of villain and move on. But people aren't that simple. She wasn't cruel. She was careless. She didn't lie with malice. She lied with fear. Fear of being alone, fear of making the wrong choice, fear of missing out. But fear doesn't excuse the damage it leaves behind. She told me once that I made her feel safe. I realized now she meant that as a compliment. But to her, safe meant boring, predictable, replaceable. He was danger. He was excitement. He was the text she waited for with butterflies in her stomach, even while lying next to me. And I was the plan she settled for until he said yes. I used to torture myself thinking about the signs I missed. Like the time she'd turn her phone face down, or how she started dressing differently just for herself, or how she never wanted to take photos together anymore. At the time, I trusted her. Now I know I was trusting someone who had already mentally checked out. She once said, if I ever cheated, I'd just break up. I could never hurt someone like that. I think she even believed it when she said it. But people don't always do what they believe. They do what's easiest. And lying was easier than facing what she had become. I confronted her one final time. Not to scream, not to beg, just to understand. She looked tired, worn down, not guilty, not angry, just empty. Why? I asked, quieter than I expected. She didn't answer for a while. Then she shrugged, eyes glancing away. He made me feel alive again. That sentence. Not, he loved me. Not, I loved him. Not even, we had something real. No, he made me feel alive. Like I was just background noise. A life support machine. A placeholder until someone more electric came along. It was in that moment I realized. It had never been about me at all. It wasn't that I lacked something. It's that she was chasing feelings I couldn't manufacture for her. And when they ran out, so did she. That night, I packed up everything. Not just the things I bought, but everything she left behind. The hoodie I always wore because it smelled like her. The Polaroid of us at the beach she'd forgotten to take down. Even the playlist we made together, I deleted it all. It felt like killing a ghost. One song, one memory at a time. And when I was done, the silence wasn't peaceful. It was deafening. But it was mine. It's been months now. People say I should be over it. That I dodged a bullet. That someone better will come along. But truth is, I still think about her. Not because I miss her, but because I can't believe I didn't see it sooner. I replay every red flag I ignored. Every friend she swore was harmless. Every lie she told with a straight face. Sometimes I wonder if she even remembers me. If she ever thinks about the damage she did. But deep down, I know she doesn't. Because people like her don't look back. They only move forward to the next thrill. The next guy who doesn't know what's coming. I've started rebuilding. Not just my trust in others, but in myself. I learned that loving someone blindly isn't noble. It's dangerous. Because when you love someone more than they respect you, you become disposable. Never again. I won't apologize for being loyal, but I won't be blind again. And if she ever comes back, if she ever sends one of those, "Hey, just wanted to see how you're doing" texts, I won't answer. Not because I hate her, but because I finally love myself more than I loved her. The end.